funny guy.
Oh, there's
Hi.
This is Brooklyn Carter from Lawyer's Title. Just before I say anything else, she is the person that brought lunch.
I mean, that's the most important thing, right?
You want realtors to come to a room, buy them lunch, they'll all show up.
Or alcohol.
But she is also my title partner, which you're going to find out how important she is to me. She knows it, but you guys are going to find out why. So if you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody how wonderful you are.
Yeah, it's not really to tell how wonderful I am, but yes, I work with Johnny. We are a power partner with my home group. We have a ton of resources for agents that help save you guys time and money in your business. We pay for that, so obviously we don't pay for everything, but we are a resource for you guys. We want to see you guys grow. We want to help you in any way we can. I love sitting down with agents, kind of figuring out what you're doing, what you're not doing, and then everybody has their own personality, right, on how you guys get your business. So there's not just one certain thing for everybody. So it's about identifying what is best for you and your goals, and that's what I do. So I help you in that way, and here for support. So we have a whole bunch of supplies too. Johnny's going to go over the open house blitz, but sign-in sheets, buyer-seller guides, all the kind of normal stuff. But we can get that stuff to you guys in about 24 or 48 hours. So just as easy as an email. So yeah.
You missed the most important thing.
I did?
Yeah.
What?
So Brooklyn isn't just the person that buys lunch and prints stuff. She comes to me with ideas. She looks at what's working for other realtors and says, you know what, Johnny, I found some things that might work for you. You should take a look at this. And then we sit and talk about it, and I say, yeah, that's not me, or yeah, that would be me. But most importantly, Brooklyn knows if there's something out there that she finds that she could never find a realtor to do, I'll do it. If it's standing on the side of the freeway with a sign like I'm homeless, which I did. Yeah. So Brooklyn and all of Lawyer's Title, and I'm very, very loyal to Lawyer's Title, and I strayed. I went away from them and came back because they're the best. They provide so much other than printing and other than that. They have the pulse of the business because they're out talking to realtors from other brokerages too. And they're seeing stuff that works, and then they collaborate, and then they bring it out to us. Super important partner, and I can't thank you enough.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
You're awesome. It's about building that partnership, so you got each other's back.
It's truly a partnership.
Oh, thank you, John.
Yeah. So while we're at it, I'll introduce you guys to my other partners that are here, and it's kind of important that you know they're here because they knew I was doing this course, and they're here to support me, and they're here to support my business. My lender, Jim Zabo with Union. Raise your hand, Jim. Jim just got a haircut. Everybody tell him how nice he is. He walked into my house last night and nobody said anything, and he got all bent out of shape. And Shelly from One Guard, Home Warranty. Okay, goes the extra mile. She's right now talking to one of my clients that had some issues, and she's right in the middle of working my client through those issues. Not a lot of reps do that, so love it. Okay. Open houses. Who in here is not a My Home Group agent? Raise your hand. All My Home Group agents?
The room's full of smart people.
Okay. Who's a brand new realtor? Keep your hands up. Who in here has never done an open house? Okay. Okay, a couple people. Who in here can think of something that's better than an open house to go get business this weekend? And then tell me what that is. I can tell you 5. So I'm not just saying open house the only way. I can tell you 5 ways to get business this weekend. But open houses, long term, will make you money. I make a living off of them. Okay? So does this young lady here. Okay? Open houses can be great, but if you don't do them right, they can be a real pain in the ass. And I have a PowerPoint that Neil was supposed to bring down, and the first page of my PowerPoint presentation has a parental advisory thing like on rap albums. Because I shoot straight, okay? I'm a Southside Chicago guy. I don't pull punches. I'm going to tell you how this stuff works for real, not like that they teach you in school with all proper pronunciation and grammar and all that, I'm a Southsider. I'm going to shoot you really, really straight on what works for me and what I don't believe works and why I do things different. Okay? So open houses can be the easiest way to get business. So I went to Mark and Jeremy. I'm not an owner of this company. I'm just a realtor. I'm not an associate broker. I don't get paid off of anybody's production. I just really like these guys. And I think they built something here that's incredible. I've been a business owner for 32 years. And I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it. They created a culture of learning. And like I told my buddy Tom, by the way, Tom's the newest realtor to our My Home group. Tom's kids and my kids have been arrested together. Played a lot of baseball together. Anyway, I've known Tom a long time, so welcome, Tom.
Thank you.
So, where was I? Open houses?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the skinny. We decided to go to Mark and Jeremy, Neil and I, with an idea that the only thing that any brokerage in this valley has over us is brand recognition. And what do I mean by that? What's Remax's thing? Balloon, right? So did you know in Canada, if you gotta blow your nose, you grab what? A Kleenex, right? No, it's really a tissue, but it's a Kleenex. Everybody, oh, I need a Kleenex. Or if you eat that stuff after dinner, that's like Wiggles and what's that called? Jello. It's really gelatin. Okay. So in Canada, people will say, "Oh, I need to get a Remax agent." Same thing as a realtor. Kleenex, tissue, Jello, gelatin. In Canada, Remax is synonymous with realtor. Okay. So they own that, and that big balloon is the only thing that they really have over My Home Group. And I can back that up by telling you how many other brokerages offer their realtors health care. They just added. How many of them offer free CE classes? How many of them offer stuff like this? So we went to Mark and Jeremy and said, hey, we got an idea to build the My Home Group brand. And it's a little bit selfish because it helps us too. It helps everybody. So the more popular the brand, the better off we all are. So we said, well, why don't we do an open house blitz? And they're like, what's that? Something in Chicago where you take a gun out? I was like, no. What if we got 100 My Home Group agents to do an open house all on the same day? So if we get 100 agents to do it and everybody uses 5 signs, okay, I'm not a math major, but that's like 500 signs, right? Okay, so if we have 500 signs all over the valley, people are driving around going, who the hell is this My Home Group? They're everywhere today. So we want to do it once a quarter, okay? The first one, we'd like to get 100, and I'll tell you, we have some lofty goals. So by the 4th quarter, we'd like to see 300 or 400 My Home Group agents having open houses all on the same day. And we'll have signs everywhere, and we're going to build that My Home Group logo. That's the whole idea of this thing, okay? And let me reiterate, I don't own the company, I don't pretend to be an owner of the company. It's just good for everybody, and that's the culture that these guys have created, and it's awesome. You just don't find that. So newer agents, you picked right the first time, okay? You picked a good one right off the bat, all right? Okay, so first question is, I've never done an open house. How do I do an open house? I don't have any listings, okay? So how many My Home Group listings do we have right now?
11% of all listings on the MLS.
11%. There's how many listings
Definitely
on the
11.
MLS? 29,000? Right? Somebody do the math. You're the
Good
math.
mucho.
So there's a lot of My Home Group listings. So find a My Home Group listing and call the realtor and say, hey, I'd like to hold your home open, your listing open on the 16th. What do you think they're going to say? Oh, I'm already going to be open. Because I'm doing Johnny Walker's Blitz. Okay? Neil's Blitz. Okay?
No, it's Johnny Walker's.
So you find a My Home Group listing, call up the realtor and say, hey, I'd like to do an open house for the Blitz, or this weekend, or practice, or Tuesday, or Wednesday. Okay? So first thing you're going to do is probably look for maybe a vacant house, because those are a little easier, right? Okay? So the first week I got in this business, I've been in the business for a long time, but I got my license 5 years ago. The very first week I said, okay, I gotta get business, because I pushed all my chips in the middle of the table and told my wife, this has gotta work, or we're screwed.
That was good.
There's my first, that's my first. Okay, so I found a, okay, thanks.
Did you tell
The
them
lovely
about,
Kelly
about
Harris.
the office upstairs and how we have the little area and how we all?
No, you can tell them that.
Oh,
About
well, that's
the old
okay.
guy wing upstairs.
Yeah, we had to make sure that we were, you know, not dumbing this down. I don't mean saying that.
For us?
No, as far as bad language, we're using clean language today, right?
Well, we're gonna try.
Okay, good.
I'm not making any promises.
Yeah, if you guys go upstairs, you just gotta be like this all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so my first week in the business, I had to find some business, so I found, there's a gal that's with us, Maureen McCarthy. She had a listing on 64th Street between Greenway and Thunderbird. And it was right on 64th Street, busy street. I asked her if I could hold it open. She goes, yeah, what day? I go, every day. She's like, yeah, go ahead, it's vacant. You know, just make sure you lock up and all that. So I held that open every single day. I went to class. I found a CE class in the morning from 9 till noon. Went, opened that up, and sat there. I bought I'm the most technology moron you're gonna ever meet. I don't understand ChapSnap and Insta Pictures and all that kind of stuff. So I bought a thing that connected me to the internet, a table and a chair, and I had a laptop. And I sat there and I made phone calls and did my thing on the laptop when nobody came in, but I had my signs out every single day. I went and bought signs, obviously, and then just sat there. So as a result of that, I got my first deal, and that same client has bought 4 houses from me since. Okay, and I got 6 or 8 other deals. I ended up winning Rookie of the Year, and it was cake. It's just, you just gotta work. To me, that's all it was. You just gotta get out and work. Okay, so open houses is what put me on the map. Okay, I think I did $4.5 million my first year, and it was all the results of open houses. It wasn't my cousins, my uncles. One of them was my brother, but it wasn't. You know, all these guys getting into the real estate business right now think, oh, this is easy. Because Uncle Joe needs to buy a house, and my sister's moving here from Chicago, and that's 2 deals. And what happens after you run out of them?
Go to business.
Yeah.
Now you gotta go out. Now you gotta go out and find business, and that's when the truth comes out. That's when it's tough. So open houses to me is the best way to do that. So they talk about pillars, like you work your sphere, open houses, Zillow leads. What are some of the other pillars they talk about? Door knocking, cold calling, all that. So I got news for you. All of those are good for some people. For me, open houses was the way to go. And my sphere, I had 32 years of, I had 3,000 people in a database. That worked out pretty good for me. Okay? But open houses was the way to go. Neil's been doing this forever.
Like 20 years. Almost 20 years.
Yeah, he's much older than me.
That's okay, we're about to say. Yeah, no, while you're trying to get that going, I mean, I don't need to sell you guys on, do I need to sell you guys on open houses?
No.
Yeah, sure.
No, yes, some of you kind of, okay. Open houses are fantastic. That's how I got my start too. I was like Johnny, I didn't know anything about real estate. I'd sold for a while and all this kind of stuff, and just so you know, I've been selling now for about 20 years. And I still do open houses. I actually do. I still do open houses. They're so great. I got my first listing when I didn't know anything. I was over off of, what was it? It was Bell Road and 7th Avenue. It was just north of Bell Road. The homes in there, I'm trying to think of the name of that subdivision. I think it's called Park West. Does anybody know Park West? That subdivision? They're built in the 1970s, ranch style. You guys are getting the picture.
Yeah.
So I was sitting somebody else's open house because they didn't want to sit it. Right? They didn't want to sit it. Somebody actually had sent an email out saying, does anybody want to sit this house? And I thought, okay, yeah, me. I'll do this. I didn't know anything about real estate. I'm sitting in the house. But before I did my open house, I walked the neighborhood. Okay? And it was on a Saturday. And I encourage you guys to still do this, okay? We don't like knocking on doors because it just pisses people off a lot of times. So what you'll do is you'll walk the neighborhood, and this is what I did. I did a letter to everybody. I went into the tax records, so I found out who the owners were of all of the properties. So I would put owner or occupant, because it might be a tenant in there too, right? And tenants buy, don't they? Tenants buy. So I walked the neighborhood, and I started on a Monday, because I was going to do it on a Sunday from 1 to 4. And so I walked the neighborhood. I handed out probably I think it was 150 of these letters. And I went in and I had letterhead and all this kind of stuff, and I figured it out so that it would automatically put the addresses and the names in there, right? I think my wife figured that out for me. And we printed these things all out, and then I went door to door. And you can actually even get it so that they're all in zip code, you know, like in address order. So you just go one to one to one to one to one. And I did that. And there was a guy who was out washing his truck. All right, and so I walked up to him. I was kind of, you know, dressed up. I don't dress up as much as I used to. In fact, I haven't worn this jacket. I wore this for you guys today, okay? But, so I was kind of dressed up, and I walked in up to the guy, and he was washing his truck, and I gave him the letter, and he's like, he thought, I think, that I was a process server. Okay, because he was like, wait, you know, whoa. And so I gave him the letter. Oh, no. I said, I'm a real estate agent. I go, and I'm getting ready to do an open house tomorrow in your neighborhood. Is this your house? And he's like, well, yeah, I've lived here for like 20 years. And I go, you know what? I would love to have you just come over. And of course I was a little bit, I'm not like I'm like right now, we're like, ah, you know. I was more like, well, yes, I'd love to have you come over and see my house, you know, the listing, and give me some feedback on what you think about the house. And he kind of looked at me and he goes, well, okay, you know, all that. And I gave him the thing. And I did this with all the neighbors. I didn't knock on the doors, but I did stick them on their doors. And on like the garage door, I would tape them to the garage door and all that kind of stuff. So in my mind, I was getting exercise, I was fresh air, you know, I was meeting people, which is what we want to do, you guys, because the open house is a platform. It's a platform. That's all it is. It's a platform, and it's the best platform you're ever going to get. So I had actually like 15 neighbors come through that day. 15 neighbors that came through to see that house. And plus all the other people that came in. And it was an amazing open house. And you know what? That guy did come in. He actually did come into the open house. He went through it. We started talking. And at the end, he said to me, you know what? I've been thinking of selling my house. And I got to tell you, I'm impressed to see a guy like you out touting that listing so hard. I really want a guy like you to represent me and sell my house. And that's how I got my first listing. And I didn't know anything about real estate. And when I went in for the listing appointment, we were already done. It was pretty much a done deal. I could have gone in and just said sign here, and we would have been done. But I went through the whole process and all that. So anyways, I just want to tell about my first listing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so how you do your open house is, so we're going to kind of cover open houses, and we're going to move into how this whole Blitz thing is going to work. So Neil and I will be available to help you identify what house you're going to hold open. We'll talk to you about how the process works on being prepared. So, but Neil and I do open houses differently. Neil knocks doors before, I knock doors after, okay? His way works for him, my way works for me. And we'll explain how that works, and then you can figure out what works best for you. Mary Trujillo's here. She does open houses better than anybody. I mean, she really does them right. So
We're friends, can you tell?
no, she really does. I learn from Mary all the time. And we share a lot of information, and that's kind of part of the whole my own group culture. So,
what's your favorite thing about open houses?
For
Ms.
me?
Trujillo, yes.
I do best one-on-one, not over the phone.
Yep.
It's hard for you to be able to convey who you are and what you're representing and what you have to offer over the phone.
Did everybody just hear what Ms. Trujillo just said? That is so true. Our business is all about connecting with other people.
Yeah.
It really is, the house is the vehicle,
Yep.
right, for us to make money. But the reality of our job is we have to connect with other people. That's what it's all about. You know the secret.
let me ask you a question. Who in here has done a couple open houses? Okay. What are you looking for when you do an open house? What's the purpose of your open house?
An opportunity for a lead.
An opportunity for a lead, a buyer lead?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
Listings in the neighborhood.
I'm looking for listings. I do open houses to get listings. Okay?
Buyers is good too, though. Don't
Wait.
Both are good.
Yeah.
We'll get to buyers. I do them to get listings. Do I get buyers? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Organically. My entire 2019 marketing budget is right here, and it's all about listing your house. okay? I'm gonna get buyers. You do an open house, you're gonna get buyers, okay? What do we all want? People that are looking for houses. If they're out looking at an open house, is it better to talk to them or better to go into McDonald's and talk to somebody about their hamburger?
So
Okay.
doing an open house, okay, the byproduct is gonna be getting buyers, cause that's the easy one.
That's the easy.
The harder one is gonna be getting the listings. So, but you'll get tons of buyers from open houses, but you'll also pick up listings. And listings is the way to really make it big, the
You'll
big
get
money in
buyers
real
without
estate.
even trying.
Yeah.
If you can just talk and show your value. So here's something that, so this is a slide presentation for a different class. So I'm gonna whip through this and show you some of the things I talk about the whole human connection, okay? There was multiple different titles that we were gonna use, but Kelly wouldn't let me. So my first
She
alternate was
ratcheted you back.
how to turn a stranger into a client in 30 seconds or less, all part of open houses. Expose yourself to strangers. That got nixed. Grow a set and say hello. Want to do business today? Try this. Okay, so that's kind of me.
You guys all have nasty minds. I'm ashamed of all of you. Yes, ma'am.
Are we gonna get the slides if you sign your name there?
Yeah, I'll send you whatever you want.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
This is really kind of for another class, but it all works on the open house.
Just don't give him your email.
If you
okay?
wanna have a lot of fun, and this class is really fun that I do. I kind of let loose on this, but I'm just using some of my favorite slides from this. So when you're doing an open house, what are you really doing? You're interviewing for a job.
Absolutely.
You're interviewing for a job. So do you go do your open house with F New York on it, or I smoke weed, or I mean, how do you want to look?
Now, you can smoke weed before your open house, just don't wear a shirt.
Hey, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, what are you projecting?
It might help some of us.
So do you want to have alcohol on your breath?
Kidding.
Do you want to have a joint fall out of your pocket? I mean, think about what you're doing. You're interviewing for a job, okay? What's the most expensive thing people are going to buy and sell in their lives most of the time? Their home, right? So are they going to trust me to sell their home? How do I look? What kind of image am I portraying to people? You're interviewing for a job from the minute you take that first sign out of your car and put it up. There's people driving by watching you put that sign up, and you got plumber's butt or something. I mean, come on, really, seriously, so think about it. So you're interviewing for a job from the minute you leave the house.
How many of you guys have gone into an open house and the person's sitting there reading a book or they're watching the Golf Channel or
Oh, yeah.
anybody seen that?
Yeah.
Raise your hands. Have anybody seen that?
Yeah.
Okay, are you gonna hire that person?
No.
Of course not. Okay, sorry.
On the same token, I purposely watch the Golf Channel. Let me tell you why.
Oh, see, there we go.
People will walk
I wouldn't
in.
hire you.
And I'll be just a second. I gotta watch his shot. And then what do? They're like, what? I'm just kidding. The golf tournament isn't as important. I use it as a comedic approach. Okay.
It's an icebreaker for you.
It's an icebreaker for me.
Okay.
So you have to find something that you have in common with everybody that walks in the house. So what is the one thing you have in common with every single person that walks in that house?
You're breathing.
You're breathing. Very good. That's one of my big three. You're breathing.
They're looking at real estate.
You eat, and you're in Arizona.
Right.
Now you have something to talk about. You have all three of those things. Hey, there's a great restaurant around the corner. I tried this restaurant. Here's my newest one that I use on everybody. When I do an open house, the first thing I find out is where the closest animal hospital is. Everybody has a pet now. So have some information like that. Say, do you have a dog? How many people have a dog now? Just so you know, there's a dog hospital like 2 miles down the street. Just something different. Make yourself a little bit different. So you have to find something that you have in common with people. So these are all the things that I find I may or may not have in common with people. Getting the drift? I can find something to talk to somebody about. The fact that I'm Catholic, I love sports, I'm a veteran, I'm a business owner, I lived in all those places, I've done business everywhere. I'm a married man, I have kids, I coach, I'm a Republican, I got 20 years in the furniture business, 4 years as an LO, 2 years as a title rep, I did a year at the auction, I have a master's degree from the School of Hard
Oh, I
Knocks.
like that one.
Why I do this class? That's just how many things can you think of that you got in common? Just find something to talk to somebody about, okay? And if they have kids, you just hit the lottery. Kids are gold. If they come into my open house with kids, I own them. I'll show you how
Oh,
it
yeah.
works. Okay, that's a different class. That's kind of a different class, but it is. Okay, so keep this in mind as you're doing open house. Everybody's got stuff, okay? My wife's sick. I'm broke. I'm getting a divorce. My kid's sick. Somebody in my family has cancer. Everybody's got something. Everybody in this room has shit. Everybody's got something going on in their life. Respect that and understand that if they come across, maybe they're not real talkative, they're not real chatty, you never know what's going on. So try to toe that really, really narrow line and kind of try talking to people a little bit.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how many people will talk to you about, yeah, you know, I get my kids in the hospital or something. Now, so guess what? Now you got something to talk about. If you got kids, you know, my kid broke his leg playing soccer last week. Oh, really? I coach kids. I break some of their legs on purpose. Okay, so just create something to talk about. But remember, everybody's got stuff. Okay, you do, they do. Keep that in mind as you're talking.
They're not necessarily mad at you, or they're not
Right.
necessarily not liking your message. It might be that there is something going on, and you just have to be intuitive to that.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work out, screw them. Next.
Right.
Who's coming in next? What did you lose? You had nothing going in, you got nothing going out. Wait for the next person. Don't, it's not life or
Take it
death.
personal.
Don't take it, never take it personally.
No.
Okay? Okay, so I'm gonna just reiterate that whole interview process. How did you dress? Do you smell good? Were you prepared? Think about what you're trying to accomplish. Think about when you interviewed to come work at my home group. You had to sit with Jeremy or Mark or Mike Marlowe or somebody, you know, and you had to make some kind of an impression to get hired. Everybody's gotten hired somewhere. How'd you do that? You're doing the same thing now. You're on an interview. An open house is an interview without question.
Absolutely.
100%. Okay?
100%.
And when you fail, learn from it. If it didn't work out, learn from it. Here's
And
one.
let me jump in real quick. I think one of the best things about an open house is learning. It's the best training ground in the world, isn't it, Mr. Hio?
Absolutely.
Because you know what happens, guys? You get in there, and people start throwing random questions at you, and you got to think on your feet, right? And they'll throw things at you that you go, oh wow, I didn't think of that one before, and you might not know how to answer that. So, but you're going to learn every single time you do these. You're going to learn about people. You're going to learn about interacting with people, which is like that's all we can do. We have to be able to interact with people, and we have to have people connect to us. And the best way to do that is just trial and error. Sitting open house after open house after open house and making mistakes. I've made more mistakes than probably anybody in this room, except you. Maybe you've made more mistakes than me. I don't know, two. Okay, good. But that's how we learn. That's how we learn.
Let me
And
show
don't
you
be
the-
ashamed of it.
Let me show you the biggest mistake people make in business right now. What's your first name?
Debbie.
Debbie? Where are you from, Debbie?
She had to think about that one for a
No,
second.
no, no.
I'm
The
just
Cayman
wondering if I
Islands.
This is
should trust you
this
this
is an
morning.
exercise. Where are you from, Debbie?
I'm from Arizona.
Make it up. I don't care.
Mesa, Arizona.
Okay. Do you have any kids?
I do.
Really? Oh, do you like sports?
I do.
Are you Catholic?
So no.
What am I doing? I'm being an asshole. Get off your phone. Do I really care what she's telling me?
No,
I don't give a crap what she's telling me because I'm worried about chat face or Insta pictures or whatever.
That's right.
Get off your phone. Get off your phone. It's ignorant. Don't be on your phone. If the phone rings or if you're expecting an important call, tell folks right away, guys, if the phone rings, I'm a little concerned that my kids at the doctor and my wife might be calling me. That would be the only thing that would interrupt our conversation. Tell them right up front.
I always pick up the phone when my wife calls.
I do too.
Yeah.
I have a really good reason for that, but
Yeah.
but yeah.
She calls.
I wish it was funny. Okay, so yeah, get off your phones. Okay, if you're talking to someone, don't text, don't accept text. Just take a second, unless you got something really, really important. Get off your phone. All right, we're gonna skip role play.
We're both married to strong women, aren't we?
Okay.
That's good.
All right. So what? Oh, here's those pillar things. right? Open house, locked prayer, wishful thinking, all these things are what people use. All right, so commonality, let's talk about commonality. That's what we're trying to create. Everybody in this room has a family. I don't care if you're adopted, you have a family, okay? You have something in common with everybody. Who said they breathe? Is that you? We all breathe air. Talk about smog. Talk about the Santa Ana winds blowing stuff out. Talk about the golf tournament that was when we all breathe. It's something we all have in common. Find something. We all eat. I happen to eat. I love lunch that Brooklyn brought. I love hamburgers. They're great. Can you tell? Okay? Talk about your favorite food. Find out what their favorite food is. There's 3 times you want to use the I word. Okay? I'm going to show you that. Other than that, it's all about them. And don't be afraid when you're talking to people to write notes. Nebraska. What part of Nebraska? Well, Cook. They're going to appreciate that you're actually listening to what they're saying. Write it down. They don't care. You know, it's going to show them that, wow, this guy asked me a question. He really did want to know the answer. He wrote it down. How many kids do you have? Where are you from? Okay? Don't be afraid to do that. I'm dumb. I'll forget. What was your name again? What's your name again?
It's Debbie.
See?
I thought you were writing it in your phone. When you were, I thought you were.
See?
Yeah, I thought you were in notes, like taking
Yeah.
notes.
Okay, so there's so that's a really good point. She thought I was writing it in my phone. I wasn't. I was being a jerk. Sorry. Okay? Find something that you have in common. We kind of discussed that. Okay. All right, so put yourself in their shoes. Right? I believe in that so much that's in my marketing. Okay? What makes a great realtor, and I put in my marketing thing, shoes. Because I try to put myself in their shoes. Always try to put yourself in the people that are walking in shoes. Find out about them. Don't talk about you. Talk about them. Find out what's important to them. Are they chatty? Are they funny? Are they serious? I use a comedic approach on almost everybody. I've had people come and sit open houses with me that are like, I can't believe you asked that guy that. Are you serious? I had a guy from Minnesota come in. I said, so what do you do up in Minnesota? And he goes, oh, I'm retired. I go, retarded? He goes, no, retired. I go, oh, sorry. You know. And the girl that was sitting there with me was like, I could never do that. I got away with it. They ended up using me to buy a house. But you can get in trouble that way. You got to kind of read people.
You gotta be careful.
Kind of get to know.
Gotta be careful.
Get to know who you're talking to. So, and I've stepped on my, you know what, plenty of times, guys.
Yeah, I have to say something. This just recently happened to me at an open house. Actually, I had a client, they signed into the sheet, and her email was cmama@hotmail.com.
I've been a big fan.
So I looked at it, I go, oh, cmama@hotmail.com. I go, that's that's almost like porn-like. I was just, I mean, she goes, that's Christian mama.
You're like, what a dumbass.
I didn't get that one. Yeah, they walked out. So.
Hey, do they have an accent? Work with an accent. So I've worked all over the country. I could tell you when somebody's from Pennsylvania, Texas, Carolinas. I can pick that up because I did it for so many years. What kind of clothes are they wearing? You can learn stuff about people. Are they sad? Are they happy? Are they in a hurry? Everybody's got a story, right? Put yourself in their shoes. Find out a little bit about them. Without even talking to them, you can tell a lot about a person when they walk into your open house.
But that's the big one.
What's
the story?
What's their story? Okay? They're not going to tell you their story until you earn their trust. And the way to do that is you got to create a relationship with them in 30 seconds.
Or less.
Or you lose. Okay? And I will tell you this. So, I'll get to that in a second. Hang on. What's your tagline? My tagline used to be, I'm coming over. Or then I kind of moved over to, don't hire me, interview me. Because I wanted people to ask me why I'm better than everybody else. I wanted them to ask me that question. Now I don't need to do that because now I just give them this and I tell them, this is what I'm all about. It's got a little resume, how I work, all that stuff. By the way, do you carry a resume at my open houses? If somebody asks me for my resume, I have one. And I also tell people, hey, if it's not me, and you're not sure who you're going to hire as a realtor, let me give you this list of questions that you should be asking before you hire a realtor. Okay? Here's the questions you should ask them. If they can't answer these questions, you probably should move on and find somebody else. Okay? But guess whose information's on the bottom? okay? So they know where they got the questions.
Can I jump in real quick on that one?
Absolutely.
Okay, so how many people have been doing real estate for less than 5 years? Okay, so there's a lot of you guys.
Exactly.
What's that? You've
I
been
mean,
doing it 5
that's-
years exactly?
No, like if you say like questions before hiring a realtor.
Right.
One of them, like that you probably have, you're gonna say is, has your realtor been in the business for more than this, or is your realtor very, you know?
Right, okay, so let me answer that for you. So, here's the thing. When I was brand new in the business, my strategy was to prove that guys like me are too busy. We're too busy for that client. So when I was new in the business, one of the big strategies you're gonna put is, guess what? You're my only client right now. Or you're one of 3. You go up against a guy like Neil, or you go up against a guy like Johnny, they got so many clients, if they don't sell your house, they don't care, because they got 5 others that they're gonna sell and make big money on, okay? Now that's not talking bad really about other agents, it's just a reality. So that's what you do. Now what we put on the top of ours, like the first question would be, have you been in the business more than 15 years, right? That's what I'm gonna put at the top of my letter. But with you guys, you know, you're gonna be able to use your newness as a strength. Don't use it as a weakness, and don't be scared of it, because it's actually the truth. You're less busy than somebody that's got 15 listings and a bunch of buyers.
I'll give you another thing. Who here works on the west side? How many of you have Mary Trujillo's phone number? Okay, so I'm gonna tell you right now, as a new agent, I would have Mary's phone number.
Oh yeah.
Because A, you might need help with something, and she'll help you, and she's not gonna charge you for that, okay? She's not one of those. She's not one of those, yeah, I'll answer your questions for 30%. She's a good Christian, she's a wonderful woman. She'll help you. B, well, you're brand new in the business. Yeah, I am, but I have Mary.
That's
Let
right.
me introduce you to Mary.
Bring Mary on the listing appointment.
Mary's been in the business find out about Mary. Mary's been in the business forever, and I can call her with any questions that I might have. So you don't just get me, you get Mary, or you get Johnny, or you get Neil, or you get whoever. Find
right.
somebody that you can confide in and say, don't worry about experience, don't worry about how new I am. I got that covered, let me show you. I'm
And-
partnered up with
For anyone who would like to reach out to me, I'm always available to answer questions. I have an office on 83rd Avenue in Thunderbird, which is the 101.
And Mary,
Feel
you
free
do
to
a
reach out to
co-list.
me.
You'd co-list with somebody and take a
Always,
piece, right?
always.
All right, and she'll help you get it.
My phone number is 623-693-1615. I will always call you back. I will always email you back. Because I remember what it was like when I was a brand new agent.
Oh.
That's beautiful.
That's what my home group's all about, guys.
Are
We're all
you-
here to
are
help
you
each
over
other.
where Azra is? Are you over where the Arizona State, Arizona School of Real Estate?
Sort of. So I'm on
Behind that McDonald's?
83rd Avenue. You know that big glass building?
Yes.
That's where I'm
Yes.
at,
Okay,
right there.
gotcha.
And Mary, what's your last name?
Trujillo. Trujillo.
Trujillo. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you calling Mary? Do you
Yeah.
want Mary? Okay. Mary,
You're gonna
okay.
buy this house and chew you.
Mary, that lady's got a question.
So I actually have my first listing appointment coming up, and I don't know what I'm doing. So can I?
When's your appointment?
Bam.
It's actually in 2 weeks.
Okay,
but
so
I've been
let's-
in complete contact with
Talk to
them.
us
Let's
afterwards.
meet
Okay.
We'll
this week.
walk you through that.
You gotta pay her a little bit though.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't know what
We'll
I'm
walk
doing.
She's not doing it for free.
We'll walk you through that. We'll walk you through that. Okay. Okay,
Time's
there's
money.
3 times you're gonna use the word I. Okay? This is who I am. I'm Johnny Walker. This is why I'm qualified. Everybody's gonna have their own answer to that. And this is how you can get a hold of me. Those are the 3 things you talk about yourself on. Now you're done. Till you get a relationship started with these people, you're done talking about you. Talk about them. Do you have any kids? What's the most important part about this neighborhood? Why are you looking in this neighborhood? 1 floor or 2? Do you have elderly parents? I mean, there's a lot of questions you're gonna ask them, okay? Don't talk about yourself. They'll ask you all the right questions when the time comes. Make the connection first. 3 I's. This is who I am, this is why I'm qualified, and this is how you can get a hold of me. I can be reached at. Okay? Alright. So what's your approach? confident, not cocky. Read your audience. We kind of covered this. Clothes, jewelry, vehicle. What kind of car did they pull up in? Accent, demeanor, kids. Did you know that Warren Buffett lives in like a bungalow in Omaha?
Same house he bought in 1973.
He lives in a crappy little old house in Omaha that looks like all the other houses. Everybody know who Warren Buffett is? Guy could probably afford a little nicer house. That's where he lives.
Never judge a book by its cover.
Never, 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 never. And never assume it's your job. I went on a listing appointment. It was a referral. They weren't even going to talk to anybody else. I went in there. I gave them a half-assed listing presentation. Guess who didn't get it? Me. Guess who learned from that? And I'll never do that again. Give them the full Monty.
And judging
Give
a
them
book
the
by
whole kit and caboodle.
judging a book by its cover. I had a gentleman came in a number of years ago to one of my open houses. He was from Biloxi, Mississippi, so he had that heavy accent and all this kind of stuff. Kind of came in a car that wasn't really all that, you know, and all. Melvin Lindsay, great guy. So Melvin came into the open house and he started talking to me. He wanted to do investments and stuff like that. This house was a little bit too big for an investment, so I was honest with him. I said, hey, if you want to do an investment, this might not be the right house for that, you know? But I didn't know. This guy came into an open house and all that. He wound up buying 20 houses from me. 20 houses. And I just sold another one for him about a month or so ago. So go on. So never judge a book by its cover. He was in a crappy car, you know, from Mississippi, whatever, right? Okay.
Okay, what's their demeanor? Do they have kids? First impressions. Again, your clothes, your hair. What's your boss look like? Because your boss gets up and goes to work every day. He probably likes the way he looks. This is something my dad always taught me when I was trying to get a job as an electrician or something. So, tone of voice, drunk or high, that should be pretty obvious. Passive, aggressive, learn your audience. Figure out who they are. But most of all, be sincere. Be authentic. Because they're going to read through bullshit in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? If you're come off real salesman-y, you know, and here's the other thing too, open houses, how many times have they had a neighbor come in? They don't tell you they're the neighbor. They just came in and said, yeah, we just wanted to see the house. So when you're doing open houses, how many people leave open house and go, I had 2 neighbors come in?
Lot.
Super wrong answer.
Yeah.
Super wrong answer. Okay? Yeah. Oh, you're the neighbor? Let me take some special time and show you. Talk good about the house. Don't. Yeah, this house is kind of shitty. It's got. Guess what? I'm not using you to sell their house.
Well, they also could be a plant by the owner.
Could be a plant
They
by the
could
owner.
be. So see, Mary knows it because Mary thinks that way.
No, 'cause
Right?
Mary probably
They
messed that
plant,
up
their
once.
friends come.
Mary probably made that
Yeah,
mistake.
Mary's been around this
I
block.
did make that mistake once.
No, but they do that. They'll send their neighbor, they'll send their friends, they'll send this just to kind of see how you're doing. You know, so always keep that in mind,
Keep
right?
in mind, every open house I sit it like there's cameras in it watching me. Because A, I don't know if there are,
Yeah.
and B, I just want to do the right thing.
But let me
You know,
say something
always
about,
be safe.
yeah, let me say something about the neighborhood snoop fest, okay? Those are great, all right? You want all those neighbors to come in, and one of the ways to get them talking, because, you know, you guys might be saying, well, how do you get all these, you know, how do you get people to tell you all this kind of stuff, right? Well, you do it by being intuitive, first of all, and then if they stop, you know, if they're really reluctant to answer these questions, start asking them stuff like for instance, when they go through the house and they don't want to talk to you, and you say to them, so what did you think of the house? What do they always say when they don't want to talk to you? It was great. See you later. And they walk out the door, right? So you stop them and you do stuff like you say, well, that's great that you really like the house, but can you tell me, you know, I'm here for the homeowner. Remember, they might have their friends coming in. And you go, what don't you like about the house? What are some things we can improve on the house? Then all of a sudden they start opening up. Once you get them opening up and starting to talk, then you can start throwing some of this other stuff in, right?
Yeah, take a notepad out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Or if they say it's great, what'd you think was great?
Right.
Right.
They'll start talking though. If you give them, you know,
Yeah, what'd you
yes
think
or
was
no
great?
questions, yeah, they'll
Yeah.
start talking.
Okay, kids are gold. For me,
Yeah.
kids are gold. So my passion is coaching kids. I got a baseball program in Scottsdale. I've run about 850 kids through there. I'll brag a little bit. I got 2 kids playing Major League Baseball that came through my program.
Yeah.
I got 5 kids in major league programs. I'm not taking credit for any of it, but it's kind of cool that they did it. The Storm baseball? Yeah. So kids are my thing. I just dig coaching kids. Tom and I coached together for a long time. Not in a creepy way, don't anybody get anything. So if they come in with kids, don't talk to them, talk to the kids. Give your business card, tell the kid. Hey, little Tommy, come here. Dude, I got a job for you. I said, when you get in the car, I want you to give this to your mom. Don't give it to her until you get in the car. Okay, and he'll walk around with this. And why don't I want him to give it to her until she gets in the car? She doesn't have a chance to leave it in the house.
Right.
And he'll do what you ask him, trust me. The kid will. Mom will go, give me that card. Oh no, not till we get in the car. Walk it to me. Kids are gold.
They are.
Kids are gold. Get them talking. And what's the other most important thing about kids? Who in here is a parent? Do you love your kids more than me? Probably. Okay? They love their kids way more than they love you. So if you get their kids, you get them.
Yeah,
That makes sense?
if the kid likes you,
Yeah, you're in. You're totally in.
it's
So-
just like if somebody's dog doesn't like you. Not to
That's
equate
right.
kids with
Right.
dogs, but it's true.
It's true.
If somebody's dog likes you, you're in, man.
So Jim, you've sat 30 open houses with me. When kids come in, what's the first, if it's a boy, what's the first thing I ask? You play baseball? Yeah. What kind of sports do you play?
Quarters,
I'm on the
I'm
chess
single.
team. Really? Are you any good? Oh, really? No, I'm a cheerleader. Awesome. Are you a good cheerleader? You know, what do you learn about cheer? You know, you can always find something to talk to kids about. Kids are easy. There we go. Everybody loves their kids. Ignore the parents. Go for the kids. Okay? But be sincere about it. Don't, you know, obviously don't be creepy, but, you know, just you know, talk to the kids.
It's fun.
Kids
You're
are-
like grandpa.
And kids are fun. Kids don't want to be out looking at houses. I got news for you. This is like scratching your nails on the board. They don't want to be there looking at houses. So ask them, say, you guys having a blast looking at houses today? No? Okay. Come on over here. And then ask your parents if you have candy or something, say, check with your mom and dad, see if you can.
Right. Always ask the parent if it's okay if the
Yeah.
kid eats the
Okay,
candy
'cause what if the
before
kid-
you give it to the
What if the
kid.
kid's diabetic or something? You don't
Yeah.
want to, so always ask the parents. But,
Yeah.
you know, if you got something for the kids don't want to be there, trust me.
No.
All right. So, when we're, oh, I got a question for you. And anybody that's taken my class, don't answer this. What's the single best day of the year to have open house? Wait, say that again? You can't answer it.
Whatever day you do it.
Okay, good answer.
Christmas.
How about a day that ends with Y?
Good one. Black Friday.
Black Friday, yeah.
Single best day of the year to have an open house. Why?
People are out.
Okay, I'm from Chicago. Who here is from someplace not in Arizona? No, raise your hand. Majority of the room. Where do you go for Christmas? If you're from Chicago or New York or Wisconsin or whatever, where do you go? You go home for Christmas because there's supposed to be snow and Santa and that's how you grew up and all that. Where do you go for Thanksgiving? You go to grandma's house in Arizona. Right?
Right.
And then, so now with the new airline rules and you can't carry anything back, who's shopping on Black Friday if they're visiting here? Nobody. Or they're doing it online, right? So what are they doing? They're down here for Thanksgiving going, they're going like this. My buddies are shoveling snow right now.
Bam.
And they're laughing and they're going, God, we should live here. So what do? Even if they're not even thinking about moving here, what are they doing? They go out and look at open houses just because they got something to do.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to add an idea for Black Friday too. If you go find places where people are standing in line, hand out your business card, granola bars, and water bottles for the people that are standing in line and just strike up conversation.
That's a great idea.
Awesome.
The guy was up early.
Who here took my class on how to get business? About standing in front of the grocery store. I'll show you another one. Mario's gonna. Show you another one that worked for me. Stood in front of the grocery store every night handing out flyers. Okay, so open houses, weekends, everybody thinks, oh, Saturday, Sunday. What's wrong with Thursday and Friday? I told you when I started, I did one every single day. Some days I had people, some days I didn't. But a lot of times, if you're there when school is letting out, and the mom is going to pick up her kids, and she sees your open house sign, she'll go, oh, I gotta go get the kids, otherwise I would stop in and see that. And then she goes the next day, and she goes, wow, they're there again. The third day, she's going to get the kids, she's going to leave 15 minutes early. and she's gonna swing into your open house. I've seen you here the past couple days. I just wanted to swing in. I'm going to get my kids.
Right, and what do they think of you? You're a hard-working agent.
Hard-working agent. That guy's there every day.
Right, you could sit here in the office and work, or you could sit in an open house and work.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Right? Sit in an open house.
All you need is internet.
Yeah.
You can do your job. That's all you need. Okay? This is a little bit about what you were talking about other places to pick up clients, Starbucks, at grocery stores, schools, kids events, craft fairs. This is for a different class. I'm just kind of robbing.
It's true though.
Okay, so let's get to open house. So holidays, weekends, weekdays, all are good. Holidays are great. Okay, Super Bowl Sunday. My thing this year was, you know what? I'm not going to do on Super Bowl Sunday because even women that don't, I'm not being chauvinistic, but even women that don't like football watch the Super Bowl for the commercials, right? So I talked myself out of that. Yeah, or that guy that looked just like me at halftime. So I talked myself out of it, and then you know what? When the Super Bowl started at 4 o'clock, now of course I did have to watch the golf, so I had a really good excuse not to. I thought to myself, that was stupid. Super Bowl doesn't start till 4 o'clock. Why didn't I do an open house from 11 to 3? Okay, still no reason. I mean, you'll talk yourself out of doing open houses. It's really not a good excuse.
I will tell you.
Except rainy days. I will tell you, if it's raining.
Well, let me say something about
I'm gonna pull out on a rainy day.
Let me say something about that, okay? So, but he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong, okay? But I, on Super Bowl Sunday, was taking a client around showing houses on Super Bowl because I'm not into sports anyways. I didn't even know who played, honestly. But I really don't. I know that's crazy, isn't it? I had no idea. I didn't even know. I think the Patriots, right? Weren't they playing? I heard something about that. Anyways,
no,
so I was saying this.
The Bears.
Okay, the Bears. Anyway, the Bears. Anyway, so I went into a new build right over there by. Right off of like 64th and the 101, there's a new little subdivision of Lennar Homes, I think, or something back in there. That place was packed. It was raining. It was Super Bowl Sunday, and there was just tons of people coming in there. Okay? Now, one of the things that people say about open houses is they go, I'm not doing them during the summertime because nobody will come in. It's 110 out. Right? Or it's raining or whatever. But guess what? You will have less buyers in the summertime. But when it's 110 and somebody's looking at houses,
it's serious.
They're serious. They're not playing. All right, go on. Sorry.
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
The only thing that
you might get 2 people in, but both of them want to buy.
Yeah. The only thing that pushes me off in open houses is rain.
Yeah.
Because for a couple reasons. I figure people aren't out in the rain. They don't want to get in and out of their cars, and they're going to screw up the house. They're going to track dirt on the carpet. Next thing you know, you're buying somebody new carpet or something like that. That's
get sued by your seller.
Yeah, that's just my thing on that. So.
Just take a while.
All right, so all right, this is what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to have you all read this next thing. This is my open house sign-in sheet. Okay. For the Blitz, we're going to provide everybody with these. Okay. So with the Blitz, we're going to give away 3 Alexas. Not Lexuses. Okay?
You know, those pretty things that spy on you. In your
Alexa, play Tom Petty. Alexa, play Aretha Franklin. Okay, and Alexa. So we're going to give away 1 for every 100 of these that we get. So if we get 400 visitors to our open houses that day, then we'll give away 4. Mark and Jeremy are paying for it. Okay? So these are the official entries to the drawings. Okay, so why do you think we're doing that?
So you get legitimate.
Yeah, so you do an open house, and so you're going to see on mine on how I get legitimate information, okay, and it works for me, but there's a talk track that goes with it, and it's very strategic. So when I have people sign in at my open house, I have this book, and I have it someplace right where they can see it, and I can see them, because I'm watching them, okay? There's a strategy here. So here's my thing. Folks, I have a sign-in sheet. You don't have to sign it. I do ask that you read it. That's all I require, that you read it. If you want to sign it after you've read it, be my guest. We can talk about it. That's my opening line. And this is what they see. Option 1, please take my email and send me 375 emails with information I do not need or want. Option 2, please take my phone number and call me and call me and call me until I want to strangle you. Option 3. Here's my information. Please contact me so I can create a professional business relationship that I can end anytime if I am unhappy. And then this is the key line right here. Is there a pointer thing on this? This is the key line. If you're Fred Flintstone, Minnie Mouse, or Donald Duck, don't bother. I already have your information. In other words, I don't want your bullshit phone number. Don't waste my paper. Okay? I don't need it. So here's the key. As they're reading this, okay, I'm watching them. If they're laughing after option 2, which, what percent do you think are laughing? 99% of people laughing. That's when I bust out this line. I go, guys, look at, I'm a professional realtor. I have no interest in your phone number and email to send you a zillion emails and pretend that you're my best friend and call you. And I'm not interested. I'm really too busy for that. If you're looking for a realtor, here's my resume. Here's my information. I'm a professional realtor. I'd love to do business. If you'd like to leave your name and phone number, I'd be glad to follow up with you after the open house. What percentage of people do you think sign it then? 50%. 50%. Some days better, but 50%. But now, what do I have? I got a legitimate client. They haven't given me a bullshit number, or a bullshit name, or a bullshit email. Now all of a sudden, these are legit clients. So am I going to talk to them different than I did the people that are like, yeah, no, I'm not signing it. Okay? I got somebody that could be a legit client now. Doesn't mean the other people aren't, but I'm one step ahead now with this. Does that make sense? Okay?
Now this thing is brilliant. It's brilliant because it's an icebreaker, right? You always have, when the people walk in, there's always that uncomfortable, how do I break the ice? How do I do this, right? That is gold for you guys because it's going to get them laughing. It's going to bring down their defenses, right? And they don't even know what's happening. Or maybe they do know what's happening, but they think, oh, this guy's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, what's the first thing you say to people when they walk in the door? You're sitting at the counter, you're on your computer, it's been kind of slow, somebody walks in, what's the first thing you say to people?
Welcome. Welcome.
Well, hi, yeah, but what's the first thing?
Thank you for
Can you
coming.
sign in?
You, what?
Oh, me?
Yeah,
What I do when people come in, well, sorry, I'm sorry. When people come in the door, the first thing I do, mine's a little modified because I have a sign, okay, that's in one of those lucite things that just stands right there, and it says in big bold letters, it says, please sign in and take a snack. And then I have snacks around it, and then you got the sign-in sheet, which I think this is brilliant. I'm going to start using this myself. I mean, I like this. Eddie, I mean, Kelly, you guys got to start using this. So then when they come in, you know, the first thing I'll say to them is, oh, well, hey, I'm Neil, blah, blah, blah. Are you a neighbor? Do you live in the neighborhood? Because I want to find out if they're a neighbor or if they're a buyer. And that helps too, because if they're a neighbor, you know, they always feel like they're snooping and they're kind of very, so if you just get it right out there.
Okay,
and
stop
you say,
for 1 second.
Yeah.
Keep that thought. First question I ask, are you from the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, and then I'll
Yeah,
tell
because
you where I'm going.
then you know which lane you're going to take, right? If it's a neighbor, you're all of a sudden, you're going to have your drawer that's got all your comps and stuff in the neighborhood, and now all of a sudden you're going to be talking neighborhood, right? So you're going to let them go through the house.
Wait. So now I got a blood pressure cuff on Neil, and I just walked in, and you're going to ask me what?
Are you a neighbor?
No, we're down from Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly.
There goes Neil's heart rate. Oh,
right,
Minnesota,
exactly. Because it's like, oh yeah, we're here from Minnesota, or we're here from Chicago.
Yeah,
right?
We're in town from Chicago. Man, this weather's great.
Right, you're moving into the second home, kind of buying, kind of thing. But that's
or better yet, no, we're millionaires. We're just not looking for a realtor to help us buy a home.
Yeah, but no, you want to do that really quick, and then I'll let you jump back in. But yeah, when they come in the door, you're going to have the sign. You're going to say, hey, sign in, please. They're going to do that. They're going to start laughing. And then you're going to say, so are you from the neighborhood? And if they're a neighbor, then you're going to automatically say, oh, wow, I would love to get feedback on this house and let me know what you think. You give them the stuff, you let them go, right? I don't follow them around the house, by the way. Never follow them around the house.
Here, work with me on this. Your neighbor? Your neighbor?
Yes.
Oh, thanks for coming by. I love when the neighbors come by. Mostly because I'm going to get hungry in a little bit. What's the best Chinese food around here?
Oh, it's Long dong, I don't know.
You know what? Mary told me about that song.
Oh,
Oh, you're a neighbor? Great. Is there a good strip joint near here? What are you talking about there?
You guys all have nasty minds, I
So,
swear.
so it's the neighbors, guys. What can you learn about the neighbor? What do you want to know about the neighbor? Right? Okay, so let's fast forward. Now your open house is over, and Neil knocks before open houses and have a conversation. Hey, I'm having an open house. I just wanted to invite you because I like the neighbors to come by.
Right.
Because he wants to talk to them. I go and knock doors after. And I take with them my sheet, my sign-in sheet, and I go, you know what? I just had an open house down the street. My name's Johnny Walker. I just wanted to let you know I had 8 people come through. 2 of them are interested in that house. 4 of them really like the neighborhood, but that house wasn't the right one. If you had any interest in listing your home, there's people interested in this area. I'd be glad to talk to you about what your house might be worth, or if I can answer any questions, let me know. Here's my card. Walk away.
Yep.
Okay? And then if they say, actually, we would like to know more about that, come on in. Say, you know, I can't. I've got to knock the rest of these doors. I've got to let everybody else in the neighborhood know what's going on. But I'd be glad to come back in 45 minutes. Can we do that? And then if they say, yeah, come back in 45 minutes, what do you have?
Your listing.
Gold. Gold. You just
Oh,
got a
yeah.
listing.
And all your listing paperwork.
Yeah. And you've got all your listing paperwork in the car. If you're smart, you have everything you need to go back to them in 45 minutes. Don't go in the house right then and there. You know, can you give me 45 minutes? Because every open house I do, I like to let all the neighbors, I didn't just want to talk to you, I have to talk to all the other neighbors too. Now you look professional, you look important, like, oh my God, I got a deal, I love you, thank you for letting me. You're not desperate, you're like, yeah, I'd be glad to talk to you about it. Give me 30 minutes, I gotta knock those 3 people's house. And they stopped over, what's her name? I think it's the Johnsons. Oh yeah, Mary Sue and whatever. They stopped in, I promised them I'd stop over afterwards. Okay? You're a business person. Now all of a sudden you got something going. Does that make sense? So that's why I knock after. Works for me. Neil knocks before. There's also a company, Kelly, who's the guy that does like the signs and all that?
Justin Hollander, Open House Helpers.
Open House Helpers. So
He
there's
actually was doing it, sorry to interrupt, and he's doing a discount for our Blitz if anyone wants to hire him, so he's mentioned it on social
Okay.
media.
And he does what? He puts the signs out, he does all that kind of stuff. He napalms the neighborhood with all of your signage. Really, and that's great. You want that.
And he has his own signs too, I think, right? The idea for the Blitz though is we want my home group signs out.
He's got my home group signs too, generic.
Okay, that's cool.
Can I segue off that, so
Yep.
I don't have to stay in all the time, although I love you guys.
No, that's okay. We love you back.
You guys have seen me mention these, so I just want to give you deets, okay? We ordered 400 of these bad boys. They open like this.
Those
They
look
will-
nice.
Thank you. They will require some sort of weight, right, in the middle, so whatever you guys want to do, stick a small child in there or whatever. Just kidding. So we have 400 of these for purchase or rent. If you were going to rent these, it's a maximum of 10 and a $50 required deposit. You will get the $50 back, fines back, okay? So we have a contract for you to fill out, a little log sheet, all that fun stuff.
So it really doesn't cost anything to bring them back.
To buy them, they're 25 a piece. Okay, and we have them here.
Okay, so now there's no excuse for anybody not to do an open house.
That's right.
I can't do it because I don't have signs. Bullshit, there's signs.
So when this class lets out, it's going to be a tad chaotic, so just be nice to us if you want to get mine and do these. So
Right.
Christina can help, I can help, Kevin can help, but we do have another class at 2 p.m., so be curious of that too.
What time is it?
That's
Oh,
it.
okay, we got time.
All right,
And
well,
Aaron's got a word.
yeah, no, since we're kind of, can you come up here for just a second, Aaron? Does everybody know Aaron Pearson?
Do you guys know Aaron?
No.
How many people know Aaron? Raise your hand. Okay, some people don't know him. Aaron's our creative director.
So Aaron,
Yeah, take center stage.
how long was I here when we did the freeway video? Like 2 weeks or
Yeah, maybe
2 months maybe? Or
maybe
something?
a couple weeks.
So I call him Woody, and I've called him Woody since the day I met him because his hair looks like Woody Woodpecker. and he wears weird pants, and he's got tattoos, and he's one of the most creative people I've ever met in my life.
He is
So
amazing.
This guy has
Amazing.
so much talent.
What am I doing here again?
So we're just propping you
I'm
up.
gonna get an award.
So Aaron came. Well, let me tell you first. So Aaron said, "Hey, I said I need to do a video." He goes, "I got a great idea." So from conception to YouTube was 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty fast.
It was fast, so I did a video.
Johnny's easy to work with. He's not afraid of the camera, so he's just like a one take wonder.
One take Charlie.
Yeah.
If we don't get it right the first time, forget it. So we went over and I did a video on the side of the freeway. I took a box that was upstairs in the it's upstairs in the single room office that we had, and I went realtor will work for clients or something.
Yeah, I help homeless people or something like that.
And I went and stood on the side of the freeway, and people were walking by, driving by, going, "What the heck?"
We gotta share that.
Yeah, I'll share
a
it.
picture or something like that.
But he put that whole thing together. He's a genius. So anyway, he came to Neil and I and told us about this app that he's created that's still in beta for him.
Yeah.
Which I guess that means he's still testing it because I'm an idiot. But
Yeah. I'm
tell us
still
about it.
listening. So, well, and a lot of it has to do with like in conjunction with the open house signs. So, I mean, obviously, if you think we have 400 open house signs on my home group, I mean, the entire valley is going to be littered with my home group, your open houses. So, to me, that's like a very analog experience. People are driving by. That's sweet. How can we create a digital experience for you to share digitally? And if you've ever seen like just listed, coming soon, just closed, social media graphics. Have you ever seen those? A lot of times people make them on Canva, or sometimes you have to hire a graphic designer to do it. Well, I developed an app. It's available in on Android and on iTunes. It's called ListPix. 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 It's absolutely free. It is in beta, so it's a little clunky yet.
So it's for Apple phones also? For
Yeah.
iPhones? Okay.
Yep. So iPhone or Android,
Okay.
either one. ListPix. Here, I'll show you what the
So Apple or Samsung?
the app looks like. I'll give you a... But anyways, what you're able to do when you download the app is you turn your phone horizontally. It'll prompt you to turn your phone sideways. You take a picture of the front of the house, and you swipe left or right and apply the filter that applies. So if it's a just listed property, it applies a just listed filter. It has my home group logos. It has equal housing. It's all RESPA, and I mean everything's compliant. So I'll give you guys kind of a quick little demo here. And again, guys, it's absolutely free.
Can you do a demo video and put it on the mastermind page?
Yeah. Yeah, I did one on Instagram, but essentially here's our camera, right? So we've got our camera. You can see we've got coming soon, just listed, open house. So in your situation, it may be an open house. If you want, you can rotate the camera so you can show yourself in front of your open house. If you'd like, you can also upload a photo. Okay, so if you have a professional photo you want to use, just upload it from your phone and apply the proper filter that you want. Okay, so we only have a few in here right now that are all my home group. But when you're ready to go, you just take a picture of the front of your house. Okay, you take your picture, you save it, and now it's in your media folder as an open house. So as you guys are doing your open houses, like, you know, test this out. If you like it, cool. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. I'll put something in the mastermind about it. It is a little clunky because it's new, it's fresh. Yeah, it's being developed. So if for some reason it ever freezes, close the app and reopen it. Like close it entirely and reopen it. It's not just exiting. You have to like the way I do it is, you know, you kind of scroll up and literally close the app, exit out of it. So
So what's the name of the app?
List, L-I-S-T, Pix, P-I-X.
So what's with the little camera with the house in there?
No, it is not. Yes. Okay, the icon itself is this red camera with the house inside of it.
Is it active yet? It's not active.
No, it's live. Yeah, go ahead, download it. Use it
Play
right
around
now.
with it.
Yeah.
You need
guys
to work out the kinks.
So here was my suggestion. So after my open houses, I go outside and I take my phone and I got my sign back there and I do, what do you call it? Take pictures of yourself. Selfie. I do a selfie video and I say, hey, Tim and Sue, thanks for coming by my open house. There's my number. You got it on the sign. That's the house we were at. If you got any questions, let me know. So now they got a picture of you. It's a video, it's a text, so they're gonna open it, right? And it's got your sign in the back, Johnny Walker, 602-315-2906 with my, they can freeze it, they can get my website, they can get everything off it. I do that for every single person that comes to my open house, a personal video just to them. Worst case scenario, you're gonna get 15 people, would be a great day in an open house, right? So what, it takes you 15 minutes to do a video of it. And by the third one, you're saying the same damn thing, only different name.
Yeah.
Right? This would make it even better because to be branded
And real quick, phase 2 is going to be, you know, if you guys have like headshots, you can kind of create your own filters. I mean, this idea I conceived because of Snapchat or Instagram, where you could apply filters on top of videos and stories. So I'm like, well, why not do real estate related ones? And then if I have control over it, I could put your headshot, your phone number, we could make video. So this is just kind of the first phase, but I'd love to hear any feedback from anyone who's using it. I'm in the mastermind, so just ping me. It's Aaron Pearson. So that's all.
This young lady has a question.
Just a quick question. I know the application works for still photos, but does it work as well for video? Is that what you were saying?
yet.
Not yet,
Okay.
not yet. But that's
That was my
Phase
first
two.
question.
Right.
yeah, it's
2.0.
definitely phase 2. Yeah, we actually want to hook it up to your social, so you could log in through Facebook, have your custom filters with your headshot, your phone number, your website address, and then obviously have it published on there directly.
What did that girl say it's like upstairs?
Oh, she said it was like Tinder, but that's because you swipe left or right. Okay, so it's not like Tinder. Don't. You know what my favorite thing is when people send us an email about the back office and they say we're having trouble logging onto the back pages, and I'm like, no, it's the back office.
Yeah, they get surprised.
Anyways, thank you guys. Yeah, good luck on your
We're going to run out of time here, so we're going to have to get to some specifics on the day of the 16th. Okay?
Specifics.
Okay. This is all great stuff, those guys. Eliminate I and insert you. Always be asking them questions. Okay? So if I told you there was one thing that we talked about today that was most important about doing open houses, what would that be? First impressions.
Relationship.
You're interviewing for a job. It's all about creating relationships.
Right, a platform.
If you don't create a relationship in 30 seconds,
You're dead.
You're done. So when I have my open house sign-in sheet, I tell people, I say, look guys, if you're out looking at open houses, these realtors are all, but it's like they have weapons. They want to beat the snot out of you until you give them their phone number and your email so they can send you all this. I'm not interested in that. If you would like to work with me, I'd be glad to work with you. Let's find out if we have some stuff in common. I may not want to put you in my car. I need to interview you as well. Come with a little strength. Come with like your own said, and say, maybe I don't want to work with you.
Get your swag.
Yeah.
Get a little swag.
Because they'll respect that. Trust me, they'll respect it. Because none of the other realtors out there are doing that. They're all like, no, the owner of the house requires that you sign in. Bullshit. Nobody's required to sign
Oh, we
in.
do it for security reasons.
Yeah, for
Come
security
on.
reasons.
Nobody believes that.
Okay, people are sick of that crap. Just be authentic with them.
Yeah.
Say, look, I'm a professional realtor. If you'd like, if you want to interview me for the job, great. Let's sit down for coffee and we'll talk about what I can do for you. But don't lay down. Grow a set. Sorry, ladies, but have some guts and go from strength.
And one of the
trust me,
quickest,
it'll pay off. I promise you.
One of the quickest ways to go out of business is to chase the wrong client. Right? So you want to chase those clients. You want to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Eliminate.
You want to get that 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20.
Yeah.
And who cares about the others?
Let's talk about the day. Let me make sure there's nothing else on here. All good stuff. Be interested in what they say. Take notes. Ask questions. Respond. React. Yes or no. Do not sell. Don't sell until you're creating a conversation. Don't be that guy.
Oh yeah.
There's 27. How do you hire their friends and neighbors? Right on the corner, right on the price. What you do? You don't want to be that guy. And stay off your phone. Stay off your phone.
Make the
you
connection.
Still shouldn't be on your phone.
Make the
yet.
connection.
If you get their information, say, hey, I'm gonna send you a text real quick just to make sure I got it right. Did you get it? Yeah, good. Now, guess what? You got a real number. They really do want to talk to you. They give you a real number. They want to talk to you. Now it's your fault if you don't land them. They did their part. Okay? Name tag. I have a name tag. Mary's got a name tag. I saw somebody else with a name tag on earlier. Yeah, if you got a name tag, wear it. So I've got one thing over all you guys. I have a name nobody forgets. Seriously. Seriously.
You are lucky.
This is the greatest conversation starter I ever had in my life.
Yep.
People go, Johnny Walker, isn't that some kind of whiskey or something? I'm like, I was like, I wasn't drinking. What are you talking about? People are like, Oh, sorry. I'm just kidding. I know. Okay. Now I started a conversation. I use that. So my name is golden for real estate. People remember my name. I never introduce myself as Johnny. I always introduce myself as Johnny Walker because people recognize that name. So don't hide who you are. You know, if you're going to do an open house and you're stopping to get something to eat on the way, put your name tag on. Oh, you're a realtor? Yeah, I'm having an open house right over here on Becker. You should stop by, 92nd and Becker. You should stop by if you know any friends. So it's kind of off the subject, something that I'm going to try out in the next month. I'm going to try to do 4 open houses in one day. It's a new thing I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to do 1 hour open houses. I'm going to go out and sign all 4 houses at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to put times on it. Open house, 11 to noon. Open house, 12:30 to 1:30. Open house, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And they're all going to be signed up all day. So as people are driving around, hey, that guy's having an open house at 2:30. You want to run over there, honey? Yeah. He went to the store to get pizza rolls for the football game. Came home. He didn't. Do I want him to stop without his wife? I'd rather him come with his wife. Maybe it works. I'm going to try doing half-hour open house.
Johnny, let me say that real quick. You reminded me. If you're going to do the open house on Sunday from 1 to 4, where we've trained people, you can always go the week before and put the sign on the sign that says Open Sunday, right? But do that like on Monday, so the people are driving through and they're thinking, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I use white athletic tape, and I just put a thin piece of tape on my open house sign. Don't cover the arrow, cover your name. They don't care what your name is.
Right.
Okay? They're going by 35 miles an hour. They don't care. If it's got Debbie's picture on it or my picture, they might care then because Debbie's picture's on it, my picture, they're right by. Right? Put a piece of tape over it. Open house, 12 to 1 or 12 to 3 or what the address is. But make it look like you do that all the time. They're gonna be like, this guy does a lot of open houses. He's got 1,400 different pieces of tape on that. You want it to look nice still, but you're creating an image. That's an impression. Okay? All right, so how many people in this room have read the contract 50 times or more?
Like we're supposed to be doing?
Like John Dyer tells you. I have.
Thousands.
Who in this room can tell me how many sections there are to the contract? Don't raise your hands. These are all things you gotta know. You have to know this stuff. Okay? One of the things I tell people on the questions, what to ask before you hire a realtor is, what's a fiduciary duty mean? You should know what that is. Describe or outline communications during the process. Tell them how you work. You can expect a phone call from me here. You can, that whole deal. What's your involvement after the contract is signed? Can you walk me through the home buying selling process? How well do you know the area? How many sections are there in the purchase contract and what are they? And do you have a resume? If you can't answer all those questions, you're not prepared to do business. Right? You have to be able to answer all these questions.
You gotta have it going
I will
on.
email this to you guys if you want it. You have to be prepared. Don't look like an idiot. Okay, this isn't a fake it till you make it thing. This is people's money. They're buying a $500,000 house. That's their money. You know, don't screw it up. This is a non-judicial state. We don't have attorneys. You act as their attorney with the title company. Okay? You should have a great escrow officer. Okay? Have a great rep. Brooklyn's a great rep, but guess what? Brooklyn don't mean nothing if they don't have good escrow.
Right.
That's just a fact. If they can't get your deal done, Brooklyn's worthless. Kim's worthless. I'm sorry, this is Kim, she's with lawyers too. But they're worthless if they don't have good escrow officers behind them. Because if your deal's not getting closed, she could bring you the greatest idea in the world. If it's not getting closed, it doesn't do you any good. That's why you have to have partners. Okay, ladies, and I'm not being chauvinistic here. Ladies, if you're worried about doing an open house by yourself, I will make a couple suggestions to you. Jim Zabo. He's not just handsome, he's big. He will come sit. He will come sit your open houses. He's not allowed at my open houses. Okay, so he's available to come sit at open houses.
Please explain.
Let me say something. Let me say something.
Yeah, maybe I should clarify that. So I got my own swerve. Okay, I don't like people at my open houses because if I ask a question, there's a reason I asked that question. And Jim was at my house last night for my kid's birthday. We're good friends. But, you know, there's time for that, and I don't want anybody talking. I asked a question for a reason. I'm waiting for an answer because I got another question depending on what that answer was. And if somebody gets in the middle of that
Right.
messes up my swerve. So I don't like people at my open house. I like to do them solo.
Just like I interrupt you right now, right? I keep jumping in.
For good purpose.
Okay, that's good.
At an
Let
open
me just
house,
say.
I'm making money. That's
So for those people that are worried about security, and some of the guys are too. I mean, you just gotta worry. You know, you gotta be careful. You know, when you are doing your open house. But the one thing, don't bring another real estate agent with you.
No.
Okay? Because you're always going to get in a fight when somebody comes in and it turns into a buyer. You know, your best friend is going to be your partner, right? And then it comes to the money, man, that whole thing falls apart.
Unless
So
you
get
have an
somebody,
agreement in place.
right?
That's
Well, yeah, that's that. But get somebody like Jim. You know, get a lender, get a title rep, get somebody like that. Somebody who's not going to get part of your commission, right? So no other agents, right?
Protect yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. I carry a gun. Whether you do or not is totally up to you.
Good. What is that? Is that like a flashlight? You'll beat him to death?
It looks
Don't.
like a flashlight.
Are you gonna tase me?
It's a taser.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Tase
but
me,
I
bro.
think I need a
Neil, get over there. Check it out.
Should we do a taste demonstration?
No.
Yeah. Oh, dude, don't. You'll have a heart attack. You
That's a
die.
flashlight. No.
Hangover.
Come on, taste me. I'm not gonna let her taste me. Are you guys kidding?
Okay, so protect yourself. So don't.
I recommend you learn how to use that before your next open.
Okay, guys, I'm trying to overcome all
We
your
got questions.
objections
We got questions.
on why not to do an open house. Don't not do this because you're worried about sitting by yourself. Find somebody to come sit with you. A lender. If you don't have a lender partner, Jim's a great place to start. I'm touting him because he does a great job and gets my loans done. He's here.
We got a question.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Find somebody to come sit your open house with you.
Right.
Okay? Don't not do this.
Not a
It's
realtor.
too good of an opportunity to pass up because you're worried. I'm not telling you not to worry. Buy a gun, buy mace, buy a tape, do whatever you think you need to do to be safe. Ladies, have your husband come and sit with you. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, they might want to get away from him for 4
Or your
hours.
boss, or if your husband's busy, bring your boyfriend.
Yeah, good idea. You can pretend he's a lender. You can pretend he's a lender. Your husband will never know. Did you have a question, young lady?
I have a statement. In what you're saying about don't do it with another agent,
That's right.
I have been very blessed that since I've been here, and actually I was with another agency that encouraged two agents to work together. But
And you're no longer there.
for other reasons, but
Okay.
yes. But since I've been here, I have been very fortunate that I have had some people that I have shadowed, some agents. That
Shadowing to learn
That's
is
different.
totally different.
Yeah, that's different.
Totally different. But that's good. That's a good point. Yeah, if you're learning, that's one thing. Go with.
I think Neil's point is don't ask another realtor to sit open house with you and say, oh, you get this one, I get the next one. you
Right.
get this
Never
one.
works.
That doesn't work. You're just asking for trouble. If that's the only way you can get it together to do an open house, then do what you gotta do. Don't miss out on this Blitz thing though, because
Don't.
So I can't. I was told not to say it. I'm gonna say it anyway. So we have some connections at my home group.
Be careful.
We're pretty sure that there's gonna be some coverage on this with the media on the 16th. I'm not promising that, but I can almost guarantee you that the connections that we have, there's gonna be media coverage on this. If it gets big enough.
All right, I'll get you next. He's next. Yes.
If it gets big enough, there's gonna be. It should make the news. We're hoping so.
Eddie.
Just an FYI, because we're talking about realtor safety and open houses, we're going to be doing some realtor self-defense classes here. I know there have been some here before, but they only talk about carrying a gun. A lot of people do carry concealed handguns, but we're actually going to be going over more hand-to-hand combat.
Stand up, Eddie, so people can hear you. Eddie, by the way, is a is it Taekwondo?
No, Filipino martial arts.
Filipino martial arts. He'll kick your. I've heard a story about. My daughter told me a story once about you coming out of a bar. But anyways, go ahead. He was getting harassed by 3 big dudes. He kicked your
I
ass.
gotta get this out. We got 4 minutes. So
Okay, real quick.
We're just
It's
doing
safety.
we're just doing hand-to-hand combat stuff. A lot of people do carry weapons, but those of you that don't want to carry a weapon, or if someone attacks you and they have a weapon on them, we're gonna teach you how to sleep.
We're doing that here, or
Here, yeah.
room, or what?
Here and at the Westgate office too.
Okay.
So contact me or contact Neil.
Okay. Any other questions?
This lady back here had a question.
I was just wondering what time people were gonna
all day.
Okay, good question. So, we set the open house blitz to go from noon to 3. You can open up before, you can stay open longer if you like, but we're gonna advertise it that way, okay? So everybody that does an open house for the blitz on the 16th, you need to get some of these. These are the entries for the Alexas, okay? We have to get these back from you. The reason that we have the agent name and the address is that tells us that that's your lead. You can send me, not me, Kelly, a copy of this or whatever, but they're all gonna be the same size, they're all gonna get thrown in a bucket, and 3 people are gonna win Alexa. If we get 400, there'll be 4 Alexas. If we get 200, there'll be 2. But it has to be real information. This is our way of getting real information from the people that visit our open houses. They could go to 3 different My Home Group open houses and have 3 different entries. Whatever, I mean, this isn't like the sweepstakes where you're winning millions of dollars. So if somebody wants to go to 19 open houses and get 19 entries, then so be it. We're not policing it that way, but we do have to have these, okay? So these, and then anybody in here, no, we have them here to give to you, and we'll have them in the office, and you can come pick them up. So if you come get your signs and the open house these and all that, anybody in the room that needs help identifying a property to sit open, I'm available. Neil's available. I'm going to volunteer Mary. Mary's available. She'll help you identify a property.
That wasn't why I picked my hand up, but I have a quick question.
But you will.
Are we able to use our own signs if it says
Yes.
My
Yes.
Home Group?
As long as it says My Home Group.
Okay.
Yeah, so the key to this, guys, is to get the brand out.
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't have signs that say My Home Group, we would prefer to use the My Home Group sign.
And there's
it's
power
free.
in numbers, power in numbers.
Yeah,
Is there a sign up or something we do to coordinate? Is there a
Sign
sign up?
up.
Yeah, you just need to give Kelly the address that you're gonna be sitting on that day. We're hoping to get 100. So Kelly's gonna take all that information. Anybody got any questions on the Blitz? Not just open houses, but on the Blitz.
How do we contact y'all? How do we
Use the My Home Group on Facebook.
okay.
And then I'll answer you back with my phone number. If you guys want to write down my phone
Here's
number, I'll
my
give it to you
card
right
if you want
now.
my card.
I have cards.
Okay, here. Whoever wants my, here, you just pass them around. Make sure she gets one.
Thank you.
Nice job, guys.
So guys, we're gonna do this 4 times a year, every quarter, and by the 4th quarter this year, this could be epic. So we're gonna try to get 100 this
Keep
first
doing
one.
them, you guys. Do them every
If
weekend.
you have any questions for me, I'll be right out there.
Finish your numbers on surgery.
602
What is it?
2 weeks.
Brooklyn.
That sounds good.
It is. I got lucky. I felt yeah, I said this was it.
I just sent you a text, too. A couple of home books. Home books as well. Home buyers and sellers books.
Yeah, I did it all.
You did. You're the best. Thanks for that info on
Oh, it is so important, especially
I
want to be the guy who needs okay, look at that. Like a bad guy coming